We spoke to Anoop. He said that the third album's almost halfway done.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. We have roughly 6 songs that are, in terms of pre-production, the structures are done. We still need to do some layering and texturing and things like that, but there are 6 solid songs there. And by the end of the next session, we have Me, Brown and Swanee, that is. We should have, I'd say, near enough the whole thing done. If the last session is anything to go by, we worked pretty quickly.
When should we be hearing that? At least a bit of that.
Well, we're going to play 2 new songs on our upcoming tour. With
the contortion?
Yeah.
How is it different, or how is it similar to everything that you guys have done before?
Well, it's similar in the way that the same people are involved. Obviously, Brown is the main man behind Monuments, and he started the project. And the things that we like groove, we like epic chord progressions, and we like hard-hitting things and stuff like that. So you can expect all that stuff. It's a little bit different in that, well, for one, I wasn't so involved in the writing of our last album, but it's kind of 50-50 so far. So of the 6 songs we have, 3 are Brown's, 3 are mine. We've all worked on all of the songs, so we all do structuring, we all write riffs, we all write layers or whatever, but it's right now it's kind of 50-50. And obviously we have Anoop, who's a new drummer. So he approaches things slightly differently to Mike. He's still very, very sick and very capable, and I'm very excited to hear what he does with it, because the demos we have now are just programmed drums, so it sounds a little bit static at the moment. So it will be noticeably, to me, the material sounds like it's been injected with new life, which is really, really good, because I feel like the Amanuensis was a big step up from Gnosis in that aspect. There's a lot more energy going on, and I feel like so far we've done that again. We're still getting a little bit different with some of the sounds and samples we use and stuff, but I don't want to give too much away.
How difficult is it to work cross-continent?
It's kind of all I've ever known, really, with band life. I mean, no, I guess that's a lie, but we've been a transatlantic band since 2013. So, you know, the internet exists, so we can send things to each other via that. And, you know, Chris doesn't need to be in the room with us writing. If we're writing the music, the riffs, we do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You might have structural ideas or whatever, but we write the songs, basically, the actual music you hear. And he writes lyrics. You know, we don't have anything to do with that. And as for Anoop, me and him, I mean, obviously he's in this country a bit now because we're kind of London, English, UK based anyway. But we talk on Skype a lot. It's very easy, as long as you can communicate with musical terms. It's very easy to describe a drum fill or a sample or a sound or, you know, whatever. And everyone's pretty open-minded and stuff, so it's not difficult. Obviously, it'd be more ideal if we were all in the same room, but it's just not that way. So
I mean, that sounds like you guys really get along really well, considering Anoop has just been around for like 6 months now. So you guys really welcomed him, really happy, and now you're like one big happy family. I mean, of course, his face is the image to Monuments now. Half the times we see Anoop's eyes, but that's great. But another thing was, last year you spoke a lot about a solo project.
I'm working on it, dude. I'm working on a few things at the moment. I'm kind of producing / recording / co-writing a couple of things with just a few of my friends, and just some other people that are kind of known in the scene or whatever. So I'm working on that. I'm also working on new Monuments material, and I am working on solid material, yes, but I keep scrapping ideas and stuff. So, but the whole thing with that, I'm not doing it for it to be like a crowd pleaser. I'm literally doing it to prove to myself that I can write songs that I enjoy. So it's not going to come out until I'm happy with it. And if that takes a 6 months or another year or whatever, I am totally fine with that, because until I'm happy, you know what I mean? I'm not going to force anything.
So what really made you decide, I mean, apart from the fact that you can write, that you want to see if you can write by yourself, but is there anything else that made you think, no, now I think I need to do something by myself and do my own project?
you know, the whole situation with Brown being that, you know, Monuments is kind of his baby. I get a bit of the kind of, well, I am the second guitarist, you know, that's a fact. I'm the guy who got brought in to play the stuff, you know. So that kind of has an influence in that. It's cool, but up until now, with this album that we're writing, I've 99.9% only been playing someone else's songs, which is cool. You know, I love Monuments. I love the material. They were one of my favorite bands before I joined, so it's great. It's great fun. But also, I played guitar for a long time without writing any songs. It was just never something that ever occurred to me. That's not why I picked up the instrument. I picked up the instrument because I liked the sound of it, and I found that I could replicate the sounds of other songs that I already knew, and that's what I did for like 2 years. I never thought, I'll write something by myself or for myself or whatever. I mean, I've always written little bits here and there. I think everyone does. They come up with their own riffs or whatever. But it never occurred to me until fairly recently that you know, I should sit down and focus on something. So that part of it's kind of an influence. But it's only now that I want to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not why I picked it up. I never went, I love songs, I want to write some songs. It was literally the sound of the guitar that I love. So.
Okay, that sounds great. But best of luck for that, and I hope we get to hear it soon. It'll be fun,
dude. As soon as I am working on it, like at full speed, in that, you know, as soon as I'm off tour, I work on it. But I'm also doing other things. Like the Monuments thing is more pressing right now. You
guys recently did the crowdfunder, and I realized that most of the money bands make now is based on live touring. So do you have anything to comment on that situation about not getting paid at the right time, not how stressful it is? I mean, I know I saw the video, you guys had a great time in Australia, but at the end it was just hurting your pockets.
Yeah, I don't care to talk about that, to be totally honest with you. All I will say is that I had a great time in Australia and our reception was great. And I'd love to go back. Under slightly better circumstances, obviously, but that's all I have to say about that.
Do you have anything to tell all the young bands that are looking to tour around, like festivals and things, some things to be careful about?
Just don't expect anything, man. Don't expect anything like, how do I put it? It's difficult, basically, you know. You might not have a great crowd. You might play well, but it might not translate because the conditions of the stage are not great. You might not eat as much as you want or as well as you want. You probably won't sleep as much as you might think. It's touring. You're promoting a product. It's not necessarily something that people already know about. So, you know, you gotta try your hardest under sometimes some of the hardest conditions, and you gotta take it as it comes, and that's all you can do.
So what's your most favorite place to tour? Like, whenever your tours are announced, what's the one place that the whole band really looks forward to go to?
I don't know. It's more like if we're playing in Russia, we all go, oh shit, because we know they're pretty crazy over there. But we all like different places, I think.
So what's your favorite?
I can't think. I mean, Australia was amazing. I really enjoy Europe. Yeah, those two. You know, they're cool. It's all really amazing for different reasons. We went to India. That was amazing. The conditions were pretty crazy, but it was an amazing experience.
I'm not even going to ask. So I'm just going to ask you like a few quick questions now. What is your least favorite Monument song?
That's a great question. Is this to listen to or to play? Because those are factors as far as I'm concerned.
Now you can answer one that's listened to and one that's to play.
Okay. Well, okay, my least favorite to play is probably the Uncollective, just because it's difficult. I mean, either Destroyer is on the same kind of level with that. I love the song, I love the riffs, I love the vocals, I love all that stuff. But playing it is, I don't get a second to think really. But I still think they're both good songs, you know.
And to listen to?
I think I'd say Alchemist. And even though I think it has one of the greatest Monuments choruses of all time, everything else it just doesn't excite me all that much. But again, I still think it's a great song.
I wonder what the rest of the band has to say to that.
See, let me see what they would say. I think Alchemist is one of Brown's favorites, for example. Chris, likes Atlas and Garden and Horcrux. Swanee, I don't know. He probably hates it all by now. Can I tell you what my favorite is?
Okay, yeah, you can do that.
My favorites are Saga City and Atlas and Horcrux. And I, the Creator. And Origins.
Yes, that's my favorite song, yes.
I, the Creator. That's the big tune.
Who is the most attractive musician you would fall in love with?
Well, there's a chick called Janae Aiko. She's a kind of modern R&B pop singer. She's a good-looking girl.
And who's your most favorite person in the band?
My favorite person in the band?
Like, physically attractive person in the band.
What?
Yes.
Oh, come on. I suppose Chris is a pretty good-looking guy.
He must be so happy to hear that.
I hope he never hears it. He doesn't need to hear it.
Okay, touring or recording?
Touring.
And best thing about being a musician?
In my personal case, being able to travel and meet people. Playing a good show is an amazing experience.
And worst thing about being a guitarist?
I don't know. I think it's quite a nerdy instrument. I don't think it's cool. If you play saxophone or if you play drums, that's quite cool. But being a guitarist I feel like it's fairly uncool in the grand scheme of things.
That's interesting. I don't think anyone ever thinks that way, but it's interesting to see that that's how a guitarist thinks. That's funny.
I mean, I don't know. That's just how I feel. I feel like playing guitar is cooler than playing keyboard, for example. But see, this is the thing. It depends. If you're on a metal band, you play guitar. Standard. If you're in a metal band and you play keyboard, I don't think that's necessarily the coolest thing. But then if you're in like a fusion band, and you play keyboards, it's a different kind of thing. You're probably very sick. You can make it sound very sexy. So I don't know. I just don't think guitar playing is one of the cooler things.
If you had to go back to a different era, which era would that be?
Am I the same person I am now?
If you want to be, yeah, you're the same person.
So I'd go back to the 80s.
I thought you'd say that for some weird reason.
Because playing the same style of music I do now is like, it would blow everybody's minds if I was the first person to do it, and I'd be like really rich right now.
That would be really cool.
I'd probably be dead by now.
Okay, 3 songs that you are really embarrassed to absolutely love.
I'm not embarrassed to love any song. What pleases my ears. I like a whole heap of songs that are probably uncool or by artists that are like cool to hate. So I can give you some of them. I mean, I like, there's a couple Nickelback tunes I really like. I probably don't
Is
get
that a Monuments thing? Because I think Anoop really said he liked a Nickelback song too.
Maybe he does. They're catchy tunes. I don't get why it's cool to hate. Coldplay is another one. Everybody, so many people really hate that band. All I hear is catchy kind of soft rock. I don't understand what the problem is. I think it's a personal thing with the vocalist or whatever, but I don't know. Dragon Force, I love Inhuman Rampage. It's a fantastic album. I think it's really sick to listen to. Again, they're cool to hate. It's a bunch of shit. I actually really like love ballads. And I'm not a lovey-dovey type guy. I'm not in a relationship. It's not like they have some special meaning to me. It's not even about the lyrics. I just love the instrumentation and like big cheesy drum fills and cheesy chord changes. I don't know. It just does it for me. So that stuff's cool. Okay,
and if you weren't a musician, what would you be?
Pretty screwed because I can't do much else. I think it would be something creative. So. I thought there were times when I thought I was going to be an actor or a dancer. I can't dance, but kind of always, when you're you're a kid, and before you kind of realize how the world works, you've already decided what you're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there was a point where I was like, oh well, I'm going to be singing. not that I had thought about it, you know. I never thought I want to be a musician. I just always thought that I would be an entertainer or something like that. Even though I didn't pick up the guitar until I was like 15 or whatever. But
lastly, do you have a message for your fans?
We love you, and take care of yourselves. You're all beautiful. Can't wait to see you on the road.